there are some things in this world which just can't be ignored. You know, things that are just so important that no matter what you're doing, you just have to drop everything you're doing and sort it out. It is nearly 10 o'clock here, 10 p.m. I'm sitting in my bed. It's a Friday night. I'm not outside like all the other people are because I realised there's something much more important that I need to handle. Lives are at stake right now. This is something that's been plaguing the world for quite some time now, and it's something I just can't ignore anymore. I am, of course, talking about Rick Myers.
He's rubbish. And he's rage. It's rubbish and rage.
So last May, so what's that, 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago, he posted an update here where he finally returned, said he's no longer doing the original storyline. Instead, he's doing his own little side story plotline about some girl called Emiri, his weird OC that he started promoting like crazy here. And that was 9 months ago. He said, you know, everything's back on track. We're finally getting somewhere. That was 9 months ago, remember. Nothing's happened since then. There's been a lot of people complaining. He responded to a couple of those complaints and then he disappeared again. But something amazing happened yesterday, in fact. Something nobody saw coming. He actually posted another update, like a full-fledged update, not just a complaint, not just a response to a complaint like he usually does, but an actual full-on update. And it is exactly what you'd expect it to be. It's quite funny just because there's a couple of people that I'm just getting it up now. This is posted on March 15th, which was yesterday. Yep. It says Pulse. I don't know what he's getting at there because I don't think anywhere in this he actually mentions a pulse. I don't know why he called it Pulse. No, I'm not entirely sure. There's nothing about pulses in that. I assume he means it's like the project has a pulse again or something. It's alive after all, or some crap like that. It's a little bit cryptic. So let's just go over this bit by bit. Okay, so lots to go over today. Yeah, okay. Same old. First off, I apologise. I've been absent for a while. No shit, Rick. Just a while. 9 months actually. Just when I thought things were getting stable, I got a big promotion at work. I don't know about that. I had a lot of changes to adjust to and not much free time. But my new position with the company is actually going to afford me some extra time to devote to this game. It's really not, is it? He says that every time he gets a new job. Turns out, since I'm now in charge of the mechatronics/electrical department, when he says he's in charge of that department, I think he means he's in charge of cleaning that department. You know, according to him, he's gone from Xbox support to the mechatronics electrical department leader. I don't see that happening, considering he can't even program the most basic concept in a game. I don't think I'd want to trust him with handling mechatronics. That seems a bit of a dangerous business decision to make. Unless he just made the company and appointed himself the CEO or something, I can't see this actually happening in a proper business environment. He's got a lot to do with international travel, which means 13-hour flights. I think they're just trying to get rid of you, Rick. So I've decided to find a way to devote this extra time to developing. What I love here is somebody's pointed out in the comment as well that he's, you know, this is like an erotic game he's creating here. He's going to be doing an erotic game sitting on a plane surrounded by families, and they're just going to look over on his computer and there's just going to be massive boobs out on his screen. It's going to be beautiful. I don't think they're going to let him I think they're going to kick him off those flights. They're going to confiscate his laptop. Like this, I spent $2,000 just yesterday on a high-end tablet. Why? Why did you need to spend $2,000 on a tablet for? Jesus Christ, you're not making Pixar movies here. Some software so that I can work on things while I'm still being mobile. My next big trip is coming up in a few weeks. So when he said he's going to get lots of time because of all these flights, I don't think he meant lots of time. I think he means lots of time, but in very small bursts. You know, he's going to get 13 hours in a few weeks, and then it's going to be another few weeks before he gets more hours. So basically, he's going to be working, 13 hours? That's, you know, normally you'd be working, you know, that's less than like 2 days worth of work, really. And he's going to be doing 2 days worth of work every few weeks. Good luck with that, Rick. Flying to Japan and China, okay, just Asia in general, for about 2 weeks. Hoping I'll have something to show by the time I get back. You won't, Rick. You're not going to have anything to show. You're gonna show that Emiri thing which you had before. You're going to show, you know, you've been working for 9 months on this one model, I bet, and you're going to show that and say you did it in 2 weeks. In the time since, I don't know why the font changes here randomly for some reason. In the time since my last update, I've been doing a lot of thinking. Just calm down, Rick. You don't want to get a brain aneurysm there. I want to give everyone some details about where things are headed. Okay, even though most of this is just being repeated, and god damn is he right, it's being repeated. Let's see, he's got 9 whole points I've got to go through here. Number one, mobile platforms. This is, it's good already. He's already started off on a high note here. The game is going to be targeted at mobile platforms. I think he thinks mobile platforms are easier. I personally find developing for mobile platforms harder because you've got more restrictions on the graphics there. It's actually more difficult. Primarily with a version for PC and Linux. I don't know why he says that it's targeted at mobile platforms for PC and Linux. I don't know what he's trying to use, some weird mobile PC. A laptop, do you mean, Rick? As some mobile markets have strict rules against adult content, there'll be no adult content in the mobile build. So less work for you then, Rick. What a surprise. Adult content will only be in the PC and Linux build. My reason for focusing on mobile platforms is that there seems to be a large lack in good quality story-based 3D RPG in the mobile market. And you feel like you're the one that needs to grace the market with that, do you, Rick? It's not that there's a lack of quality ones, it's just you can't really do a quality 3D RPG on mobile. It doesn't work. And in addition to that, I don't think Monster Girl Quest is the one that's going to do that, especially one made by you, Rick. And I think it would be a great market to target. Again, we're not meant to be talking about markets now. You promised a product. People gave you money for that product. There was a weird comment before where he was getting back at somebody that was complaining. He said that all they can do, they've already paid and all they can do is cry. And it's like, that's not how a business transaction works, Rick. You're the one in the wrong here. If you were giving this game away for free and people were complaining, it would be fine. But the fact that people have paid you to do this, you do genuinely owe them. That is the whole point of a trade. That's what happens when you make a transaction. If people give you money, you owe them a product. So you are in the wrong here. You genuinely owe people this. So by saying you're now going to go into the mobile market, it's like, no, this isn't about you, Rick. This isn't, you owe the people the product. You should be making the PC and Linux version, which you originally promised. Otherwise, you are not fulfilling on the transaction. If you give me $20,000 for some fancy new car and I give you a wheelbarrow, I can't say, well, I just decided to change it halfway through. We agreed that I would give you that type of car originally from the start, not a wheelbarrow. So I have to give you it. Otherwise, it's not really it's not a valid transaction. It's not legal. Number 2, combat mechanics. Typical attacks will not be adult oriented, so less work for you again, Rick. Okay, cutting out more points as always. Though some may have a more flirtatious nature to them, I hope it's going to be like that weird flail move that Luca does in his original demo, where it's not even a flail. I don't know what the hell it was. H scenes will happen in the PC version when losing a battle and in some dialogue. No shit, that's the whole point of the game. Let's see, what do we got here? 3, storyline. The direction is still for the closely connected side story. Why is that how can the direction be the side story? If the direction is the side story, then the side story is suddenly the main story, isn't it? That doesn't make any sense. The primary reason for this is Alice having a Lamia. I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it Lamia or Lamia? Lamia as a squad mate is just, I like this bit, it's just not possible unless I give her a really short stubby tail. The physics of it, the number of polygons and bones to animate it correctly, and a number of other issues continuously plague the idea. No, he seems to think it's a limitation of the computer, of the system. No, it's just a limitation of your knowledge, Rick. You don't know how to do this efficiently. Just because you don't know how to do it doesn't mean it's actually a restriction. What you should probably do is learn how to do it. That's the whole point. If Alice were to follow you around in Lamia form, it would eliminate the possibility of this game running smooth on anything without a decent graphics cards just for the one character. No, there's quite a few games out there which use sort of snake-style shapes in them and everything. I'm just going to splash up on the screen here a bunch of games where it runs fine and you aren't making any sense. Look at the games where characters have like flowing hair and everything. You think that's just magic? Admittedly, they are using fabrics instead. But the thing is, the point is, long tendril things like that. There's quite a lot of games that use stuff like that. Anything that has a giant octopus arm coming in is using that sort of thing. I don't understand what this limitation here is. On the flip side, if I did follow the original story, Alice would always be in human form except in pre-rendered cutscenes, and I would end up having to make a lot more unforeseeable changes to make things work with 3D gameplay. I just don't know. That was basically summarising that point, I guess. Number 4, appearance. This is an area I am going to focus on a lot right now. Oh my God. One of the key areas I want to focus on is modeling. Because you haven't done that enough already, have you, Rick? You haven't literally spent the entire project modeling a bunch of characters, discarding them, modeling some more, discarding them all, and never actually working on the game. You know what this game is lacking, Rick? An actual game. You've got tons of models, okay? We don't need any more models, okay? Do the models later. Make the game. That's the bit you can't seem to do right. You know, even I think some of your models are okay. Admittedly, I think later on he even finally admits that he's been using a bunch of prefabs, so, you know, things he didn't actually make. But at least some of his work there was somewhat okay. The thing where he was doing really poorly was the actual game, because it wasn't a game. I want everything to feel similar to the current mainstream 3D anime. So he's, you know, before I'm pretty sure he was saying that he couldn't do anime style. He said it wasn't possible. Gone back on that a bit. But capable of running on an iPhone or Android. Again, you've made it more complicated. Getting it to run on Android and iPhone's more difficult, Rick. I don't know why, if he's thinking like small, it must be easier because it's smaller. No, you've got to try and compact more data, more rendering into a smaller device. It's not going to be easier. It's going to be a lot harder. Mobile development for games, especially for 3D games, is not easy. He then goes on to say, I've had some time to tinker with a few ideas here and have a good idea on how to do it. He has an idea on how to do it. That's going to go down well, isn't it? And then he's got point number 5 here, VR support. So he's given himself more work again. Says, yes, I plan to include a full VR mode that will run the game in side-by-side stereo 3D mode for VR HMDs, including the kind you use your smartphone with. This isn't going to go well. What would you even do the VR for in a mobile phone version? It wouldn't really do anything, would it? I mean, he says he's not putting in any of the sexual scenes in it, so it's not going to do anything. What was the 3D going to be there for? I don't know how complex he thinks this game's going to be. And once again, VR is a lot more difficult. He's trying to do it for mobile VR as well. When you're doing it for VR, basically you sort of render the scene twice. So he's putting twice as much work in there. And then he's saying he's going to put it on mobile. So not only is he doubling the amount of work the computer has to do, he's also putting it on a smaller computer. And he couldn't even get it to run for a normal computer with one screen before. And simple graphics. He's not going to get anywhere with this. His next point here was 6, character customization. Yes, but unclear how far this will go. It may just be a matter of choosing a male or female protagonist. Again, if for some reason he doesn't focus on the gameplay, I don't know why. This isn't hard. All you have to do is you split up the character into different parts, like the hair, sort of the shirt and everything, and then you just sort of get the position of the character and put them in the right positions for that, the right poses for it. It's not difficult. I don't know why he's struggling with this, but this is the easy part. But he doesn't seem to understand it, and he refuses to learn. Number 7. T-shirts. I don't know if you've seen those T-shirts. Those T-shirts were incredible. I don't know if you've seen the bald shirt. But his shirts are just amazing. Let's get those up. Yeah, that's pretty beautiful. That is a real masterpiece there. It does totally not look like somebody just photoshopped a really, really bad CGI version of Alice on top of his shirt. I kind of feel sorry for the people that are going to get those. But he says the T-shirts are going to be made and sent out in about a year. I really want one now. I want to put something on Rubbish and Rage. I want to have that shirt on Rubbish and Rage, like we have the Ipswich Crazy shirt sometimes now. I want to put the MGQ3D on there, just to make the same kind of jokes we've been making with the Ipswich Crazy one. But yeah, he's going to release it even if the game's not completed. So you might be able to have a shirt for a game that's never been released. As an added bonus, I am hoping to be able to include an additional T-shirt of the new main character. He's trying to plug his Emiri character here. He's going to give you a shirt of the new main character, Emiri, who we don't know who she is. We have no clue she is. He's just some random OC that he made up and decided to slap on a shirt, and he's trying to sell it now. With each T-shirt order at no additional cost, purely as a thank you. I don't know if he's thank you anymore. Pretty much everybody hates him at this point. Last 2 points here. Number 8, timeline. He says, I'm not going to lie. This game is not going to be a quick build. It's not. It hasn't been a quick build. It's not going to be a quick build. He hasn't even started. This Kickstarter started in 2013. Was it 2013? I think it was. It sounds about right, doesn't it? It sounds like something Rick would do. I just need to confirm that date. 1 second. I love the estimated delivery when I'm looking through this. Estimated delivery March 2014. It is currently March 2018. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he started this in 2013. He's saying it's not going to be a quick build, even though it's 2018, 5 years on. Right, hang on, let's get that post back. God damn it, I lost it now. Ah, yes, here we go. So he says he wants to take his time, because you haven't already been taking your time, have you, Rick? And he wants to do it right, even though it has already taken too long. Just any product at this point would be good, Rick. Okay, just release a game about cubes running around in a field, and I would be fine. I feel I've tried over and over to rush through things before and always fell short of goals and expectations. Just a little bit, Rick. Even if it takes me another 3 years, I want to make sure this ends up being a quality product. I think it's going to take him another 5 years, to be honest. I mean, let's do the maths here. So, what has he created? You know, how much, on like a percentage scale? If we say that, you know, we've got a percentage sales, so 100% the game is finished, 0% hasn't even started. So let's say after 5 years, he has reached 0%. So he means he's had a change of 0. So what is 0 times another 5? Let's see. I know. So it's another 0. Okay. What about 100 years? 100 times that. So what? 5 into 100. That's 20. So you know, 20 times 0. That's 0%. So in 100 years, he should still be at 0%. That sounds about right to me. And the last one here, number 9. Prefabricated assets. I'm moving away from fabricated assets. If you don't know prefabricated assets, he's not even using the term right there, but basically it's an asset in the game, so like a tree or a character that's been made before, like you know, it's something you make and then reuse it, so it's prefabricated. It's been fabricated in the past. And yeah, he's using the wrong term here. What he actually means is stealing other people's work. But basically what he's been doing is he's been taking other models and then adding on to them. So somebody has made a human model and he's then sort of added some stuff to them to make them look like the characters in his game. And he says he's moving away from them, and it's like, you should have done that from the start, really. You know, using somebody else's work in yours and then trying to sell it's not really legal, Rick. So I invested a good deal into some of them. You've invested nothing into this, Rick, to be honest. But rather than placing models that kind of work into the game, that were made by other people, yeah, I want to use models made specifically for this game so they are a perfect fit. Why is it taking him 5 years to figure that out? Surely that should have just been obvious, you know. Think when you design a game, you don't think, I'll just use some models that kind of work. You know, that's not how you make a game. You make a game and you kind of think, okay, I'm going to have to make characters that work for this game. That's just logic. So I don't know what the hell he's been going with that. You know, there's two people sort of saying they're glad to see him in the comments down here. I don't know what that's about. I don't know. It's probably just, you know, looking at the names, one of them has Downey in it. It's probably someone like his wife or something.
Now that's edgy as fuck!
Hazard, you know, that's probably one of his kids. Damn kids. And he says, no, I have no intention of slicing apart the PC version and turning it into some emulated port of a mobile game. It's actually a good thing for the PC version. No, it's not. I ran into a lot of issues in the past where testers and community members, as basically just rubbish and rage, had low frame rates trying to run the game on lower spec PCs and higher spec PCs. The solution to that is to cut down on the resources the game needs. No, Rick. The solution is to become a good programmer. Is to become a good game developer. You know, most games like Skyrim runs on pretty low spec computers now, and that's got better graphics than this. I'm pretty sure it's nothing to do with the amount of polygons and all that junk he keeps talking about, low poly models. No, you don't need to use low poly models. The polys in your models are fine. It's just you're a really bad programmer. So if I use very low poly models with high detail bump map textures, simplified scripts, you don't usually use bump maps on characters, I don't think. I've never seen anybody use bump maps on characters before. You usually use it on surfaces. That's like it's like a sort of a pseudo bumpy surface style thing. You don't use it on characters though, which is where all of his polys seem to be going. Simplified scripts. You should have been doing that from the start, really. Complex scripts is not the target of programming. When you're programming something, you're not trying to make more code. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. You're trying to make it as simple and short and quick as code as possible, and use pre-rendered images and videos for cutscenes. It's like living in the 90s, isn't it? He's gonna have like a little clip at the end, which like a little menu option at the end that says FMVs or something like that. I think that's what they used to be called, FMVs. What was that, full motion videos? I don't know. That's what old games from the 90s used to have. The game can run on any PC or even mobile devices, so it's more so throttling back the game so that it can run on any PC. Is he like trying to target, he says any PC, but going on these optimizations he's talking about, I think he's trying to target Windows XP, maybe even Windows 98 at this rate. Is he like is he trying to write it with MS-DOS in mind or something maybe? And while I'm at it, why not mobile platforms? Because you don't know how to write for mobile platforms, Rick. Cutscene images and videos will also be rendered in full stereo 3D for VR mode. It goes on about all these optimizations about cutting back the polys, and then he goes on about trying to write it for VR, which is really intensive. You know, if you want to optimize this, don't do VR. VR really ramps up the amount of fucking work your CPU has to do. He's a bit of a pleb. So, you know, he's back. He's going to disappear for another 6 or 7 months, and then he's going to come back and say his house caught fire again or something. Isn't that? Yeah, that's true, actually. He said about his job. He said his new job was mechatronics/electrical department. Considering he burnt down his own house last time by messing with the electrics, I think him working in the electrical department's not going to go very well. He's going to end up burning down the whole of Michigan at this rate. Yeah, this is just classic Rick, really. So I just thought it'd be nice to give you an update on that. I like giving an update. Somebody's already complained. They posted a comment here. I'm really annoyed because he set it so that only backers can post comments and replies to anything, and I'm sitting here just like, oh, I desperately want to say something right at him. All I can do is make these stupid clips like this and post on the forum because somebody stole his forum. Who could that be? Who could have possibly stolen his forum? Yeah, this guy's one guy who's always been complaining is against him. He's the hero Kickstarter needs. I love it as well. He even points out, if there are any legal repercussions I could exact for my $150, I'm so sorry. Why I don't know why you'd be stupid enough to give him $150 in the first place, but I'm so sorry you had to lose it to this guy of all guys. But yeah, that's it. That's the state of Rick Myers. It's the end. It's the end of the world as we know it. There is nothing beyond here. That's life.